So in today's video, I got you guys with the top 5 assault rifle loadouts that you should be using in Warzone right now. You guys are going to really enjoy this video. I got you guys loadouts from Modern Warfare, Cold War, Vanguard, all titles that are going to be dominating in Warzone right now. And before we get into these loadouts, I do want to shout out today's Noti gang, and let's get into it. So the first assault rifle I got for you guys is going to be the STG-44 from Vanguard. Now, this is still one of the best assault rifles in Warzone right now, so I would highly recommend you guys use this build. So first off, for the muzzle, you guys are going to want to put on the recoil booster for that fire rate. Next up, on the barrel, you want the 760-05B. This gives you damage range, bullet velocity, and better accuracy. By far the best barrel for the STG. On the optic, I rock the G16 2.5x, but I know some people like to rock the SVT 3-6, so this just comes down to preference, but for me personally, I rock the G16 2.5. For the stock, you guys are going to want to put on the weighted stock. This gives you accuracy, flinch resistance, recoil control, and aiming stability. By far the best stock for the STG. Now for the underbarrel, you're going to want the M19 hand stop for that recoil control. And then next up for the magazine, you're going to want to put on the 7.62 Gorenko 50 round for the movement speed, aim down sight speed, and fire rate. For the ammunition, we're going to be using lengthen for the extra bullet velocity. And then rear grip, guys, you're going to want to put on polymer grip for that flinch resistance and accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. This really reduces the recoil on the STG when you put on the polymer grip, so I would highly recommend that. And then for perk 1, you're going to want to put on vital for that increased torso damage. Just gives the STG a little bit of an edge. When you put this on, it does make the time to kill a little bit faster. And then for perk 2, we're going to put on fully loaded so that we have a full amount of ammo when we get our loadout. And that's going to be the STG build I recommend for you guys. And let's go ahead and jump into the second assault rifle. So for the second assault rifle today, I got you guys the XM4 from Cold War. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite assault rifles ever in Warzone. And it is definitely still in the meta and is definitely a top 5 assault rifle that you guys should be using. So first off, for the muzzle, you guys are going to want to put on the agency suppressor for that vertical recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range. By far the best muzzle. On the barrel, you want the 13.7 Ranger barrel for that bullet velocity and vertical recoil control. For the optic, we're going to be using the Axial Arms 3X. This is the go-to on all Cold War assault rifles. Just by far the nicest and cleanest optic is the Axial Arms 3X. For the underbarrel, you guys are going to want to put on Field Agent Grip for the horizontal and vertical recoil control. This really reduces the recoil on the XM4, so I would highly recommend Field Agent Grip to you guys. And the magazine, we're going to use 45 round. I know some people like to rock the Stanag 60, but as you can see, it hurts your aim down sight time, and I feel like it just slows down the XM4 a little too much for me. So I rock the 45, but if you guys do want to rock the 60, you can do that. But me personally, like I said, I just think the 60 makes it too slow, so that's why I rock the 45. That's going to be the XM4 build that I would recommend to you guys. And let's go ahead and jump into the next assault rifle. So for the third assault rifle, I got you guys none other than the Grau 5.56 from Modern Warfare. Now, this is a super OG assault rifle that still beams in Warzone right now. So I would highly recommend you guys use the Grau if you haven't lately, because it is easily still a top 5 AR. So for the muzzle, make sure you guys throw in the monolithic suppressor for that sound suppression and damage range. By far the best muzzle. For the barrel, make sure you guys throw on the 26.4 Archangel for that damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. You shouldn't really be rocking any other barrel besides the Archangel on the Grau. Now for the laser, I like to rock the TAC laser for that aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. Then you're going to want to put on an underbarrel, and that is going to be the Commando foregrip for that recoil stabilization and aiming stability. And then lastly, for the magazine, we're going to rock the 50 round mag. Again, like I said on the XM4, the 60 kind of slows it down, so you can play around with these two, see what you like more. But for me personally, I like to rock the 50. And also, if you guys do want to rock an optic on the Grau, I know some people like to do that. You guys can rock the VLK optic and just go ahead and take off the TAC laser. You can rock this build if you want, but for me personally, since I like to play Rebirth, I do use the TAC laser instead of the optic, and I just run the iron sight on this gun. So that's going to be the Grau 5.56 build I recommend to you guys. And let's go ahead and get into the next assault rifle. So coming up next, I got you guys the Cooper Carbine from Vanguard, man. Now, this is one of my favorite assault rifles, mainly because the mobility it has, it feels like an SMG, but the damage range, it shoots like an AR, which is what makes this gun so fun. I would definitely say this is still a top 5 AR for you guys to use. First off, you're going to want the recoil booster for that fire rate. For the barrel, you're going to want the 22-inch Cooper Custom for the fire rate, damage range, reduced scope sway, and extra accuracy. For the optic, I rock the 2.5x. This is just my go-to sight for the Cooper. And then for the stock on the Cooper Carbine, you're going to want the Cooper 45W for that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, and the extra recoil control when crouched and prone. For the underbarrel, guys, you're going to want the Carver foregrip for the vertical recoil control and hip fire accuracy. Magazine, you're going to want to put on the 9mm 60 round drums for the fire rate, ADS speed, and recoil control. Ammunition, we're going with lengthened, of course, for that extra bullet velocity. Rear grip is going to be polymer grip for that flinch resistance and accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. This really helps the recoil on the Cooper when you're shooting at long distances and you have that 60 round mag, so you're going to be shooting a lot. The polymer grip is very, very clutch, so I highly recommend that. Perk 1, we're going to be using tight grip for even more accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. And then perk 2 is going to be fully loaded like the STG, so that we have max ammo when we get our loadouts. That's going to be my Cooper build, and let's go ahead and jump into the next assault rifle. And coming up next is one of the best assault rifles that was ever put into Warzone, the Cold War AK-47. This gun has insane damage and really good range, so that's why I would highly recommend it to you guys. So for the build, you're going to want to put on the GRU suppressor, which gives you bullet velocity, damage range, sound suppression, and vertical recoil control. By far the best muzzle. For the barrel, guys, you're going to want the Spetsnaz RPK barrel for that extra bullet velocity, horizontal recoil control, damage range, and vertical recoil control. The RPK barrel is by far better than any other barrel for the AK, so I highly recommend that. For the optic, like I said earlier on the XM4, you're going to want to go with the Axial Arms 3X on all Cold War assault rifles, so I would recommend the Axial Arms 3X. For the underbarrel, make sure you guys throw in the bruiser grip for that extra movement speed and hip fire accuracy. And the magazine, we're going to go with the 45 round mag, because you guys already know the 60 round mags are going to slow the gun down too much, so we rock the 45. That's going to be the AK build that absolutely beams in Warzone right now. And let's go ahead and jump into another assault rifle. So for the final assault rifle in today's video, man, I got you guys none other than the OG classic M13 from Modern Warfare. This gun is a beam on Warzone still to this day. I would highly recommend you guys use the M13 if you haven't in a little while. For the muzzle, make sure you throw in the monolithic suppressor for that sound suppression and damage range. For the barrel, we're going to go with the Tempest Marksman for the bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil control. Definitely better than the other two barrels. Make sure you go with the Tempest Marksman. For the optic, I go with the GI Mini Reflex, but I know a lot of people like the VLK 3X. This just kind of comes down to preference and whatever you like more, but for me, I go with the GI Mini Reflex. For the underbarrel, make sure you guys go with the Commando foregrip for that recoil stabilization and aiming stability. And then for the magazine, we're going to go with the 50, because as always, the 60 is going to make it a little bit slower. You can play around with these two and see what you like more, but for me, I go with the 50. That's going to be the M13 build I would recommend to you guys, and that is also going to be the final loadout of today's video. As always, if you guys did enjoy, man, make sure you leave a like, and of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video, man. Peace.